This right here is a racking system with nano tanks on. This tank up here has Caridina shrimp in it, and there's one of the little buggers right now. Hello, you beauty. Such good looking shrimp. This one over here is a little bit misty. It's got some treatment in it at the moment for some planaria, which is these tiny little worms that kill shrimp, and they're horrible. They're dying off, which is good, but this is full of Neo-Caridina shrimp. And yeah, breeding, we've got tons of little babies everywhere. It's doing really good. Down below, we've got a little mountainscape. Now this one has got no CO2 or anything like that. All it's got is a tiny little sponge filter thing at the back. And yeah, another one for shrimp. So there's a adult female, I think, right there. There's lots of other little dark ones dotted around. There's not as many in this one because I've taken quite a few out and put them into other tanks. But there is a couple of glaring holes in this racking system, isn't there? This one in the middle in particular, I really want to fill out with just a feature plant and, you know, a really nice little carpet or something like that. For either some shrimp or fish, I'm not 100% sure what I want yet, but you will know by the title of the video. But at this stage, I want to just get the substrate sorted, and the bottom here, it needs to have something down there for nutrients. Now we could, of course, just go for some aqua soil. But I've seen recently on MJ Aquascaping and a few other channels, to be honest, pond compost or pond aqua soil underneath the proper aqua soil, you know, the beaded type, works really well for plant growth and general health of the whole tank. So that's what I need to do. I need to go get some and then have a look at the shrimp or fish that they've got in the shop as well. We're just casually chatting and I didn't put the mic on and stuff, but we're live. Please do not swear.
We're live on air.
I've come for pond soil,
yes,
which you informed me we've got lots of.
We've got a pallet of that. So
and either really shrimp, because I saw some over there.
They're nice, yeah.
Or a couple of the golden koi endlers, no, guppies.
Yes.
Not endlers.
Yeah.
Or possibly those ruby tetra, a few of those.
That was the ones I was thinking. The ruby tetras are beautiful.
Oh, well, yeah, they look so good.
They are
Is that what you're
really
thinking?
nice.
Okay, let me show the audience.
Yes, I was thinking about the ruby tetra.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I think they're nice. So they're a little bit different. We've not had them, you can't get them very often, or we haven't had them very often, but Martin has found them from a really decent supplier now, and they are beautiful.
Yeah, I really like them. Look, it's like ember, but just with that.
This is what I think. It's like a fancy ember with
Yeah.
that really orangey red like flash to the back of the tail.
Yeah. Oh, I like it. These aren't fully grown though, are they?
Nope. So you'll see.
Because I've got a tiny tank.
Yeah. That
Like
was the one we were talking about. Yeah, nice.
it's proper tiny.
Proper tiny.
I'm not sure. Well, now they're fine.
Yep.
To be fair, that'd be good. I could use it as a holding tank.
Yeah.
As they grow, I could go a bit more. Like a little group of 10 or something would work well, wouldn't it?
That'd be a really smart little group. Yeah, they're beautiful, and they don't get overly big. Like 3-4 centimeters. Say they're not huge.
I mean, my tank's probably about half the size of what you've got there.
Yeah.
So 10 of them in there would work well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be fine until they grow up, and as they grow up, it's sort of, it's just about managing them, isn't it? At the end of the day.
It is, and that's what I'll do. Okay, and the pond soil?
Oh yeah.
I'll only need a bag.
Yeah, we've only got big bags.
Wow.
Yeah, it might keep you going for a while.
So I was actually, someone recently commented on this stuff. And you remember when we were saying, we weren't quite sure, but it's compost with stuff taken out.
Yeah.
It's basically, I think they let normal compost just sit in water vats. And all the organics float to the surface, they drain it off, they refill it, they drain it off.
Oh, it makes sense.
And then what you're left with is the sinkable, more sort of silt, less organic material.
Yeah, you're going to have less nutrients in it and everything like that. That's going to be all flushed away. Or
Exactly.
a lot of it will be flushed away.
There'll be enough, more than enough for the plants, but not so much that it's going to like turn into some sort of methane-fueled...
Yeah, some sort of green soup.
Like hydrogen sulfide fart
that
fest.
makes sense. Yeah, that would be horrible, wouldn't it? Yeah, I know that I've seen them mix it with like a fine sand as well, so I guess that weights it down a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, cool. Yeah, makes sense.
Bag of that, and then 10 of the ruby tetras, please. We recently set this one up. You guys might have seen the build video already. If you haven't, it's available on the channel. Look at this. It's at an angle. It's doing really well, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah, it's looking really cool. The fish are starting to colour up. It's just a bit different, isn't it? It's not something you see every day.
I think it's wicked. Is there more flow? Have you played around with it a little bit more?
No, she's not in today.
She's not in. How many times can we make that same joke?
Every single
time.
video.
Yeah, it's got to be in there at some point. Yes, we've got the rainbow shiners at the top there, and then zebra danios as well.
Yeah, rainbows are just starting to get their blue on some of them now, so they're just getting that sheen, which is really nice.
Cool.
But I think the flow looks more though because the water level evaporates. So what you find is as the evaporation happens, the water's then at the surface, so it looks more flowy. I overtopped it the other day, so it was still underneath, but it was brimming. And yeah, you couldn't see any flow at all.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's just,
not
I
good
think
enough.
it's just where the water level sits.
And of
which is
course,
quite
because
nice.
of the surface tension breaking constantly, you'll get more evaporation, won't you, than anywhere else?
Exactly, with all that flow and the bubbles, and yeah, you will get a lot more
See,
evaporation.
every time you say flow, I'm tempted to do it again, but we can't
We've done
keep
it
doing
once.
One per video, that's the
Or-
rule.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
fair
maybe in
enough.
a different context you can get away with it.
Oh, also what I need, over the other side of the plant background here,
Yes.
there's this one sword, and I want that sword for the tank. Just that one, that little one. It's going to be like the feature inside the tank. It's just one in the middle.
Yeah,
And then I'm going to have the ruby textures all around it. I'm just continuing the simple ideas that we've been doing, the simple themes.
Yeah, nice.
And I think that'll look really good. Or it'll look rubbish.
Yeah, and you won't put this up. and
Yeah, one or the other.
You just won't bother.
Plant delivery in. Cheryl's just taking it all apart. What?
Unboxing.
Unboxing. That's what it's called.
Unboxing.
I couldn't-
Welcome to the unboxing.
I couldn't think for a second then.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm after an Amazon sword. Now, sword.
Sword.
Amazon swords. See, I want a Baleri. Blaheri. Yeah, that's the one underneath there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's him.
Maybe I just do
Which
a
will come
mix.
in tomorrow. They'll be on our delivery tomorrow. So these are more different sort of specialist, not specialist, but different forms.
What's that one called? It's hard.
Frilineni.
See, they're completely different names to the tropical ones that I'm used to.
Yeah.
Everyone uses their own sort of way of describing it, don't
names,
they?
Yeah.
So-
So they're not common names, are they? They are Latin names, but yeah.
I definitely want that little one though, because it's only a nano tank. I'll probably have to trim off some of the bigger leaves, but that's all good. All good.
That's quite a nice one. Rose look with
Yes.
the pink leaf in the middle. It's quite cool.
Maybe I could have this one and that one. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Done.
It's not too overcomplicated for you.
Well, I mean, I was going for simple when I've already added 2 varieties of plant. Never mind.
Yeah. And next we've got the stems going in the back and the big bits of bogwood.
Before you know it, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
No. I'll keep it, those two will work well together, I think.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool. I've got my aquatic soil. Matt's just bagging up the plants. We got the fish as well.
I got the little bag of fish.
Oh, fish are here.
Oh, that's a small bag.
We're all set, ready to go. Thank you again for another great customer experience.
Of course.
Ka-chow.
Would you expect anything else?
Just ka-chowed.
Ka-chow. That's a new sign off for you.
I'm going with it. So we've got our aquatic soil, basically pond soil. I wanted to stand this bag up and open it this end, but it's just too full. I'm going to just cut it in the middle and keep it flat always. I mean, I've got this massive bag here, and I don't actually need that much, but it'll be perfect for use, you know, further down the line as well. And I've used aquatic compost before, or aquatic soil before. It's really, really good stuff. I've had great success with it. This is going to be difficult to get out. Hang on. I'll use a small pot to scoop some. There we go. And then it's just a simple case of pouring it in. I definitely want more than that though. The little bits of stones and stuff will not hurt at all. There's no need to even sieve this stuff, because there's no large particles in there at all. Like that big bit all crumples down small. I think I need double that. Second jug going in. There we go, that should be plenty. Just gonna flatten it out a bit and break up those bigger chunks. Now this stuff should have had most of the organic components of it removed, like sort of, they float them off I think. So I'm going to spray it now and it should just uptake the water. I'm having trouble speaking today. It should just soak up the water without it like going all sort of hydrophobic, is that the right word? I think it is, I'm going to go with that. Yeah, there we go, look, soaking it up straight away. Just what we want. I do not have a lot of room in here. Oh, and if you're wondering where the fish are, I've currently got them in this bucket here. You can't see them, there's some plants in there with them as well. They'll be absolutely fine in there just whilst we're doing the build, and they'll be nicely temperature acclimated as well, ready to put in when we finish, which won't be too long now because it's a very, very simple scape. Next up, we need to put the aqua soil now on top of the pond compost. we go, nice little base layer. You can't really tell, there you go, there's the difference in the different layers, so the compost and the aqua soil. I'm going to fill the water now up to sort of level with it. I just find it a little bit easier to plant some of the finicky plants. I want a little foreground hairgrass carpet, you see, just a nice simple one, and then I can get those big swords in the back as well. I think that's what I want to do. I mean, they might not look great. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how it goes, but that is the plan, keeping it simple like that. Got my nifty little homemade attachment here. It's just got the water already going to it, and it's just got a little on valve here so that I can not fill it up fast. The reason that's not coming through fast is because I've just got a kink in it, but to be honest, that should be enough. Hang on. Right, there we go, I've unkinked it. Got to be careful still. There we go. It'll go a lot quicker than that if I let it. Again, I don't want to fill it up too far, probably about halfway up this banked. It's slightly banked, the soil is, so you'll see that it starts filling. Yeah, there we go. It's starting to saturate halfway up as well. Okay, there we go. I think that's enough. Right, next to planting then, I have got this here. This is dwarf hairgrass, Eleocharis, and this will go really nicely in there. It's the 1-2 grow pots. Just pull the liquid out, break each sort of bit up, and then you know, you're good to plug it in. When I say plug it in, I mean make little plugs that just get, yeah, you know what I mean. A nice little front wall. Normally you do stuff a bit higgledy-piggledy, but I've deliberately done it in a straight line because why not? Just like an arty effect. I don't know what that means. I've got the plants here, the swords as well. So I'm going to plant them in. Now some of the leaves, that one's pretty good. Some of the leaves are a bit dodgy like that one. This one here that has snapped, so just break it at the base. Some of them are very long as well, so I might have to remove those. I don't know, when it's in there, they might loop over quite nicely. I can trim them once they're in there though, can't I? Like once it's filled up. Place it slap bang in the middle, right at the back. Get it nice and deep, just to make sure that it pins itself down. Should hold itself up. Yay, good enough. And then there's that other more smaller one that'll sit just in front of it. Right, here we go. It might actually be easier to do this by hand, but I'm just going to give it a go. No, actually, no, we're good. We are good. Quite like that so far. Looking cute, isn't it? So some of those big leaves obviously will slope down when the water's in there, and we could trim it up for shape. But I think I'm going to use the other pot of hairgrass now, just fill in those areas, not completely, but just dot it about a little bit, a bit more sort of detail. Okay, looking good. I'm really loving just that one red leaf. There will be more hopefully because we're right underneath this light. It's quite powerful. It's I'd say it's a medium level of lighting, this one. So I'm just going to fill the whole thing up with tap water now. So we've got our API Aqua Essential here just to make sure there's no chlorine in the water, and then we should be pretty good to go. There we go, we're filled up. I definitely want to snip that though. It looks a bit silly, doesn't it, just the one? If we had several, of which we will eventually growing at the top, great, but just that one, yeah, I'll snip it for now. So believe it or not, it has now actually been a week since I first put the plants in and filled it up with water. Now the fish are still in the bucket. We've had loads of water changes, there's been feeding, but they're doing absolutely fine in there. Basically, they've got their own little tank. It's not very good looking, obviously, so it's now time to move them across. But before we do, I just want to update you on what I've added. I've added a load of ram's horn snails, you can see here. They've been keeping the glass nice and clean, and also the leaves nice and clean as well. Look at this, there was only one red leaf a week ago, and now we've got this amazing 2 brand new, and there's a third one actually coming as well. Let me turn that up. There you go, right in the center there's a third leaf coming. So that is awesome, isn't it? It just goes to show how well the aqua soil with the pond soil is working in terms of nutrients. I've also added in, you can see in the back, no you probably can't, hang on. Yeah, at the back there, look, we can see a cherry shrimp. I think I've got 3 or 4 in here. There's one right at the bottom there as well. And then as you can see over here, they've already started molting, which is a really good sign. It means they're happy with the water and they're able to molt in this environment, which means we should get some babies in there as well. Goodness, look at this snail poop though. Look at this. Off you get. Let's knock that down. There we go. Obviously in a no filter tank, small particles and things like that can get sort of stuck on things. If you had a full-on filter flowing about, they wouldn't be on there, would they? But eventually the shrimp are going to get all of that. Now in terms of the foreground plants, I can see that we're starting to send runners already. Look at that, it's going left and right of all the plants there, but also in this, look at that there. That's brand new growth. That's a really, really good sign that everything is going to do really good in this tank. Loving it. But it's not really a fish tank without the fish, is it? So we can now add in the diamond tetras. I think they're going to look so good in this tank. Here we go, look, I've just removed the plants. All doing really well. Got some nice little bit of mulm down there as well. It's probably a really good environment, but we've got a better environment for them, haven't we? Obviously the tank above, but there's still a bit of cleaning that I need to do on the edges here. Look, some of the sort of hair grass that's broken off. This would have been bits when you tear it up that just got ripped in that process, and everything that's left now is just growing beautifully. So I can just clean around the edges at the top, you know, all this glass and that. Top it up a little bit, I think, not too much. Don't want to jump in. I always leave a bit of a gap between the top with my tanks, so they don't have lids, and that way the fish don't jump. Look at that red. Red looks so good, doesn't it? I thought that was quite funny. Look, these guys here, look at focus. Look at that, they really didn't want to let go of this piece of hair grass. There's still a root on that actually, so if they could take that down and replant it for me, that'd be great. Okay, looking good. Just a nice little top up now. That should be plenty. And just a couple of floating plants from this tank, just to help with absorbing those nutrients. Oh, I just spilled it all over the side as well. Lovely. Just a few. We don't need a lot of these. They grow so fast as well. There we go, just a little touch. Those ones in there was about the same amount, and now I've already taken them out once as well. They grow so fast, that Salvinia, but it's really good absorbing extra nutrients and stopping just an algae fest. But this is different. This is set up different to a lot of tanks that I've done, and I've got really high hopes for it. I think it's going to do well, but it's now time to add in the fish. Obviously means I've got to catch them first. They're very fast. I'm probably going to need to use a couple of nets. Yeah, right, here we go. Double net method. It's working a little better. How many did I get? 0. Okay, that's better. I've got a good few now. Finally managed to catch the Tetra. Some of them are doing that Tetra thing where they pretend to be dead, float around a bit, but they're not. They're all good. It's time to put them in. So initially the Tetra have gone and hid right at the base of this plant. Can't really blame them, can you? Just getting shoved into a new home. But remember, this isn't the permanent home for these fish. I'm going to be putting them in a different tank eventually, but they are very, very small right now, and I'm pretty sure everything else I've got will eat them. So now that the fish are in, we also need a good capful of Quick Start, and that will, you know, boost the beneficial bacteria in there. It already would have started a cycle, to be honest, with the snails and the shrimp and you know, all the plant decaying matter and everything, but better to be safe than sorry. Whenever I add Quick Start, it's not sponsored video or anything, it's just what I always use whenever I use this and never get problems with fish losses. And then a little bit of fertilizer as well. Not a lot because it's not a big tank, So a few days later, and the ruby tetras are really colouring up and looking great. They are still quite skittish, and when I come in the room, they don't quite know that I'm the one that feeds them yet, so they're a little bit shy and hang around the base of the sword plant. To be honest, I would say that this tank is too small for 10 fully grown ruby tetras, but seeing as they're just little ones at the moment, I'm going to let them grow up because they'll probably get eaten by anything else in my other tanks, but when they're full size, they'll be absolutely fine. Now remember, if you're doing a no filter tank like this one, you need to make sure that the tank is tested every day when you put the fish in. I'll be looking for spikes in ammonia and nitrite every single morning for at least the first week. After a week, if everything's all good, then we can ease up on the testing. Now, as with most of my no filter tanks like this one, I always stock it really low, so the bioload of all the inhabitants in this aquarium is not really going to touch the sides. It's not like it's going to shoot up overnight with ammonia. It would creep, so you have time to react. If I detect any increase in ammonia and nitrite, I'll do a 50% water change straight away. To be honest, for the first week, I'll do this anyway. It's just really good thing to do with a new setup, and it just means less chance of algae. So I hope you've all enjoyed this one. It's a really, really simple design you can all try, and that was kind of the plan, really. If you guys have enjoyed this one, make sure you click the like and subscribe button, and I will see you on the next one.